Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy, Golden Falls, Golden What Ifs, whatever you want to call me, and I'm back. This is a brand new What If. What if Deku was Jiren's reincarnation? As always, if you enjoy, please show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. As I said before, and I don't know if you guys caught it, but I will say it again. I have full intentions of basically going full daily for the month of December. And on top of that, I would like to get some full movies out for you guys. Like brand new movies, not compilations, brand new movies. Basically an hour and a half, 2 hours of me ranting or, talking about a story, building a story, if that's Demon Slayer, if that's whatever, right? It don't matter what it is. That's the plan. Hopefully I can get a couple of those this month. If not, bare minimum, you will be getting daily what ifs. And yeah, that's all I really got to say. Check the links in the description for the Discord and some other stuff. I have a Spotify as well if you want to check it out. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's get right into it. This story doesn't start in the world of My Hero Academia. It actually starts in the world of Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball and everything to know is going to happen the same way. We have the Universal Tournament, the tournament that is bound to stop everybody. The tournament that is going to eliminate a ton, we're talking, of these, well, universes. Giant, absolute, just, people, filled with people and filled with warriors alike. These universes are being threatened. These universes are being told that it's life or death, and this tournament is exactly that. And there's one warrior that stands among all of the rest. His name is Jiren. Jiren, a true warrior, a warrior of justice and power that seems to be endless. Jiren would stand tall in this tournament, but he would still lose. It's crazy to think that someone of insane proportions like Jiren could lose a tournament like this. But with people like Goku, people like the Saiyans who break and shatter their limits, then frankly it should be no surprise that he would fall short. But this time, this version and this occurrence would lean to Jiren's erasure. Jiren's erase from all of universes and all of the Dragon Ball universe. As he's erased, though, feels this sensation, a sensation of, well, being transferred to somebody else. His power, mindset, kind of his way of life in a way would be transferred to somebody in a totally different universe. Not just actually universe though, it's like a totally different multiverse. This transfer would begin, and as it begins and as it trails to this new person, a little baby by the name of Izuku Midoriya, it would then stop. Everything that is Jiren and once was Jiren is bestowed within Izuku, but Jiren would wake up. He would be alive once again in his universe, standing behind people or standing around people like Toppo and many others like Dispo and his Pride Troopers. But it seems that a part of him has been transferred to somebody else in a different multiverse and a different universe at that. Izuku Midoriya would be donned with the power of Jiren the Almighty. Jiren himself, the warrior that is among the greatest of them all. Izuku would be born without a quirk, but would be bestowed the power of the usage of ki, and also the motivation to train beyond your wildest dreams. Izuku would, at a young age, would begin massive interest in martial arts, learning, fighting, and all of the above. He would never, ever, ever take disrespect lying down, and on top of that, he would make sure that all those who are basically bad people would understand that there are consequences to said actions, and there are consequences to the actions that they decide to make. In which, when Izuku is young and meets Bakugo would try to bully him for not having a quirk, but it would quickly backfire on the young future hero, because Izuku would beat him down bad. To the point that, well, Bakugo is pretty scared of Izuku, just to a certain extent, at least when they're on their own and by themselves. He believes that he doesn't want anything to do with Izuku, that if he's kind of, does his thing and tries to make fun of him again, that things will go bad once again. And that's the correct assumption. Izuku will beat him down once again if he tries anything kind of dumb, and if he tries anything to actually hurt other people. Izuku is very prideful. Izuku really believes in a sense of justice, but also believes that true power is all that matters. That power itself is the only answer to stopping all villains. And that's exactly what he begins to kind of build off of. Izuku believes that true power, understanding, and also sacrifice is kind of just the way to approach being a hero, and the way to approach saving as many people as possible. And that's what he does. He continues to train, continues to fight, and continues to learn. As he learns, trains, and fights and gets stronger and stronger, well, there's really nobody out there that can stand up to him. A quirkless teenager that is beyond strength itself. A quirkless teenager that his aura and presence when walking into a room would shatter the souls and hearts of anybody if they dare step in front of him and they dare step to actually try and defeat him. Izuku builds this persona that he is a true warrior, builds this persona that he is strength. And Izuku would go throughout middle school and everybody would either admire him or fear him. There was no in between. Some would admire him and want to be very similar to him. They would want him to create a group known as the Pride Troopers, the group known as these people, these heroes that were going out to protect and would channel all of their protection through strength itself. And that's what they are. They're going to be good doers. But Izuku himself would kind of ignore this. Izuku doesn't really want much to do with these so-called Pride Troopers. He doesn't want much to do with these people that are trying to follow him and make him out to be some sort of hero. Izuku doesn't want that. He wants to be a hero and he wants to channel all of his power to being it, but he also doesn't want to deal with other people. He doesn't want to have to deal with these other people and also their other kind of problems, situations, and their wants and desires. He doesn't want to deal with any of them. But soon the last day of middle school would arrive, and it would be time for him to basically show the entire class that he wants to get into UA, and there's nothing that's going to stop him. And that's the truth of it. There is literally not a single thing that's going to stop him. Izuku would walk through that tunnel that same day, would walk through the tunnel that initially or regularly would change his life. But this time around, yes, it may change his life, and yes, it may show a different side of Izuku, but this is just basically a showing of what he can do. Because underneath that bridge, in that tunnel, what comes is a sludge villain. The sludge villain comes barreling out, and Izuku would watch and stare at him. The sludge villain would threaten him, would tell him that he's going to take his body, would say this and say that, but Izuku would tell him to stop. That this choice that he's about to make is about to be the worst choice that he could ever make in his life. More than being a villain, more than being a criminal. Stepping to him is the worst choice. And silence would then ring out, and the sludge villain would laugh, thinking the kid is insane. Yeah, he's big. Yeah, I mean, he looks pretty sizable, and he looks like a pretty big dude. But come on now, there's no way he's just some scrawny, some slightly built teenager, right? That's what he is. Compared to the sludge villain, he's tiny. I mean, he's big for human standards, but come on. There's just no way he can handle and stand up to him. In which Izuku would shake his head, and the sludge villain would come charging in, and Izuku would just stare at him. And the sludge villain couldn't even see, but Izuku would throw a plethora of attacks at him, and in an instant, the sludge villain would shatter to pieces. Izuku would tell him to stay down, as the pieces would just be laying there, more or less just defeated. And Izuku would make it very clear that he stood no chance in the first place, and that it was honorable that he even tried. But truly, a villain like himself, he should give up on villainy and go back to being a normal person. Or go live in the sewers forever. But before the sludge villain could really even be fully captured by Izuku, it seems that someone else has now arrived. All Might himself has basically come onto the scene and sees that the sludge villain has already been defeated, and even sees that, well, the person who did it. Izuku stands there and says that it's been a pleasure to meet All Might, but he's going to have to leave. He hands him a bottle full of the sludge villain and tells him that he assumes that All Might will have an easy time disposing or basically putting him behind bars. In which All Might nods his head and says that the kid did a great job, that he should basically next time maybe just run away. But Izuku shakes his head and says that if he has the power to do something, then he might as well do it, because those who are powerful are the ones that are the only ones that matter in terms of being a hero. Power is what matters. In which All Might looks at him and says, yeah, that is true. Power does help quite a bit, but there's a lot to it. There's a lot more to being a hero than just power. Saving and helping people is important, in which Izuku says, of course, but with more power is a guarantee that he can save everyone. All Might would then tell the kid that he has so much potential and don't squander that potential. And he's not saying that he is squandering it, but just don't squander it. Take on the responsibility of being a hero, save as many people as possible, and do good. Just do good. That is the number one thing. In which All Might jumps off with the sludge villain, and Izuku would watch him, and would watch the idol that every single person idolized and looked up to jump away. Izuku would head home, and he would begin meditating. He began thinking about everything that All Might said. Everything. Thinking about caring, thinking about loving, thinking about basically saving people with passion, with help, with a sense of rescue and justice, not just power. He thinks about it and thinks on it for a little bit, and as he thinks about it, he gets a flash through his mind, a flash of himself shooting a ki blast or a blast of some sort that he already knows how to do, by the way, at a giant or a stadium of people that he doesn't know. But as he shoots it, someone jumps in front with white hair and slaps the blast away, and yells toward him that he will never forgive him for trying to do something like that. But then he would go right back into it. He would jump right back into everything that he was seeing and everything that was happening. He would realize that must have been a memory or a weird kind of thing that he saw. He doesn't know how it happened, what happened, or what connection to him it has, but he saw it. And whatever it was definitely something to think about. Izuku, would continue on with his training for the next 10 months. Izuku's goal is to be as strong as humanly possible. Yes, there's going to be restrictions, and yes, there's going to be some things that he may not be amazing at, but he's going to do everything in his power to be the best. And that's what he's going to do. And he continues to take these martial arts classes, but he soon realizes that a lot of these martial arts teachers, they're just not really what they should be. These martial arts teachers just lack something. Now, what is that specifically? Well, Izuku's not sure, but he can tell that they're missing something. He can tell that there's this strength that lies ahead that they're not going to be able to get for him. So he continues to try to basically up his training, but would realize that his physical body is already at its basic peak, that he's continuously growing stronger and stronger, but now he's at the point where he feels the strongest he could possibly be. So for the last 2 months, he continues studies, but also continues meditating to try and control this energy that lays within him, the energy and power that is basically dormant within him, that he wants to bring out to its fullest degree. He wants to bring out his warrior spirit and his warrior's aura to a large extent, and he will get there. He knows he will, because all that matters to him at this moment is to be a warrior and to hold power beyond belief that nobody can stop him. Nobody can stop him from getting to the destination that he wants to get to, and that's what he's going to do. But after the 10 months of training, Izuku Midoriya would now get his chance to show what he has and what he's capable of in front of countless teachers at UA High School. The UA entrance exam would be upon them, and the first thing he would have to do is sit by Bakugo. He would sit by Bakugo, and frankly, the guy would be annoying. Super annoying. Would annoy the hell out of Izuku, and he would think, well, he's going to have to deal with this. He's going to have to deal with it because most likely he respects Bakugo's power and knows Bakugo is definitely going to pass the UA entrance exam. So he's going to have to deal with it no matter what. But to be honest, that's something that he'll worry about later, because if Bakugo is going to be, a dumb person and not do what he's supposed to do, well, Bakugo's going to fall off and never be the hero that he seeks out to be. Now, with all the written portion and all this other parts of the exams finished and completely finalized to a large extent, Izuku now is ready to take on the practical part of the exam. The practical part of the exam is to fight a ton of robots. And Izuku realizes that this is going to be the first challenge he's really ever had. He's never necessarily fought high level, extremely durable people, because what's he gonna do? He can't do that necessarily. He's trying to train and trying to get stronger and trying to get better, but he has his limitations in terms of training. But luckily enough, this will definitely give him a test, but the test, well, let's just say he'll pass it with flying colors, because Izuku goes in and absolutely demolishes almost every single robot known to man. He begins to fly around, smashing robot after robot, destroying them in one foul swoop. And everybody who's watching, well, they can't even believe what they're even seeing, because Izuku is at a level that nobody can freaking believe. He might even be stronger than All Might himself. Everybody wonders, how the heck did this kid get this powerful? How did he get this strong? Surely there are limitations. Surely there are things that the kid lacks. So how is he this powerful? What kind of quirk does he have? And as Aizawa begins to check what quirk this kid has, Izuku Midoriya, in a label and a folder, he opens it to see that the kid is quirkless. He doesn't know how this makes sense and what he is, but the kid, well, it says he's quirkless. But there is additional notes saying that they think that he has some sort of kind of strength-like power, but according to all doctors' reports, the kid is flat out quirkless and doesn't have a quirk at all. In which this would shock Izuku, or shock everybody, that Izuku is quirkless, that he is actually not the person or the powerful being necessarily that everybody would look at. But he is that powerful. Everybody's in the mind space of, oh, well, he doesn't have a quirk, so that means he must be not that strong. But that's not the case at all. Izuku would show everybody that it doesn't matter that he doesn't have a quirk, and frankly, it doesn't matter not even one bit. Izuku shows them all that his capabilities are beyond anybody who has a quirk in the first place, and he shows discipline that nobody would even understand. Yes, he believes power is all, but now after a conversation with All Might, he understands, hey, he needs to make sure that he is focusing on rescue and stuff like that. So when he gets his opportunity to actually save a girl by the name of Ochaku Uraka, well, he just goes in, one foul swoop, no facial features, no smiling, no happiness. He goes in, grabs her out of the way, saves her, and one punches the giant robot. With one foul swoop, he shatters it to absolute pieces, and everybody is in shock and awe. How the hell did he just do that? That is a feat that even All Might himself would have to do. Nobody else would be able to do that, not in the way he did it. Not just one punch, not just one foul swoop. There's just no way he would be able to do something like that, but he did. Everybody is watching. Everybody is seeing. He just did it. He just did exactly what everybody seemed and thought to be the impossible. But the impossible is very probable when you have power. And that's exactly what Izuku Midoriya has, and exactly what he's showing and putting on display for everybody every last faculty and UA teacher that is currently watching and wondering, what is the next step for this kid? What is the next step for this powerful being that, frankly, nobody is ready for? Izuku Midoriya would then end up leaving. He would end up being done, no healing needed, and he would just leave. People would even try to talk to him. Like, people like Ochako Uraka would try and speak with him. But, of course, he's like, I don't care. Like, he doesn't mind at all. He saved her. That is that. And now he's just wanting to leave. He just heads out before anybody can even really say much, if not anything. And Izuku is just ready to head back home and do what he does best. Meditate, train, prepare, and get ready. That's what he wants to do. But he still has these little middle schoolers, these little people that are, to be honest, kind of looking at him, looking after him, and kind of thinking, oh, we want to be part of your troop of fighters and warriors. Like, we've been training. But Izuku is just like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, we're no vigilantes. We're no nothing. Stop it. Like, just stop it. And Izuku, of course, is just like, hey, like, I don't need your guys' help. I don't need anyone's, like, help in general. He straight up is just like, I don't want any of you guys being around me at the end of the day. That I'm powerful, I'm strong, but I am no general figure. I'm no All Might. I'm not somebody who you should follow. I'm somebody who's going to uphold justice, and that is it. And if upholding justice means also saving lives, defeating people, and ending people as well, that's exactly what he's going to do. In which a lot of them are just in awe that he feels this way. But Izuku, well, that's the truth. Izuku feels that, well, he needs to hold his power in high regard. And if he's going to make some sort of pride troopers, then they need to be at a level that is optimal to him and also others. That's what's going to happen. Now, of course, an entrance into UA is no joke. And when he gets the letter and gets told that he is the #1 student, he is not surprised by any means. But it's still no joke to enter into a prestigious school like this one, because all the faculty, all the facilities, everything that is allowed here is at a very high level, giving Izuku a chance and an opportunity to level himself up and level up his strength to a large degree. And that right there is the main thing. Being able to level and also just get stronger in general, is what matters. Now, of course, the first day of UA, it's a simple one for Izuku. Izuku gets there and he actually hears that they're not going to do orientation, which Izuku even kind of references that orientation is stupid and that there should be no reason for them to do that. They don't need to be kind of told that they're amazing, or they don't need to be shown this or that, or they don't have to basically be like, oh yeah, you like everybody's so cool and so awesome. You guys are all heroes. Welcome. You guys did it. Blah, blah, blah. No one cares. That's how Izuku feels. Izuku feels that this power that he holds, that's what matters. Everything that is to be a hero, that's what matters. In which when Aizawa comes in and tells them all that they are not going to orientation, Izuku would slightly smirk, just a tiny little bit. And some people would even see this and think, wow, that's crazy. I feel like that's the first time I've ever seen this guy smile. And that's the reality of it. That is literally the first time anyone's seen this guy smile. The guy doesn't smile, like, at all. And, of course, this would lead them to the what they're going to do instead of orientation, which would be kind of a training or a kind of assessment that they are going to go through and that they are going to learn from, which is a quirk assessment. Now, this is just raw strength, raw speed, raw power, stuff like that. And all of those things Izuku will excel in, throwing a ball beyond even measure itself, throwing it to space. And in terms of speed, he's faster than everybody. He's stronger than everybody, quicker, more reactive, everything you could possibly imagine. Izuku is at a totally different level, a level that is beyond anything that really all of these people can do, maybe even beyond anything that, well, All Might himself could do. Now, All Might has the captivation of all of the people that look at him as a savior, look at him as the #1 hero, look at him as the, well, the top of the top, the best of the best. But Izuku's strength shows Aizawa that he has arguably another version of All Might, if not one that has the potential, if not already stronger than All Might himself. Aizawa would smirk just a little bit, thinking that this kid can be honed to be an absolute machine and can be honed to the point where he can actually just flat out be the best ever, that he can flat out be the greatest protector of Japan and someone that villains will fear forever. Izuku excels in this kind of portion of the exam, or excels in this kind of quirk assessment, and this would obviously lead them going to orientation and lead them on to kind of what they're going to do next. Lead them on to just everything that is going to happen in the near future. Of course, the next thing they have to do is a bit of training. Now, that bit of training is exactly what they were thinking about. Exactly what All Might was thinking about. Izuku might be strong. Izuku might be powerful. He might be even stronger than him. But Izuku needs to understand the way of being a hero. Heroes versus villains will show him that. At least that's what All Might thought. Izuku and Nochako versus Bakugo and Tenya Ida, with Izuku being on the hero side. Izuku would dash in and he would go for the bomb instantly, not even thinking about these other villains, and he would crash through a window, knocking out Tenya and touching a bomb in a matter of a split second. Izuku finishes easily, but it kind of frustrates, just slightly frustrates All Might. Izuku would basically just be done with this immediately, and showing that all of his power is the reason why he's able to do it, in which he finishes them off like instantaneously basically, and everybody's like, whoa, that was quick, like ridiculously quick and ridiculously powerful. Now, of course, there are some things that All Might tells him about being reckless, about hurting a villain beyond, what you want. And Izuku says that he pulled his punch. There's a reason why Tenya is not extremely hurt, but All Might tells him that just because he's not extremely hurt doesn't mean that he's not hurt. That you have to realize you are doing a drill, but you're also dealing with people that possibly are weaker than you. And Izuku needs to be able to hold back. In which Izuku says that if he has to hold back that much, then there's really no point of him doing the drill in the first place. In which All Might, he nods his head. He thinks, you know what? You're right. You are completely right. So how about we change the drill and change the sequence just a little bit? He tells Ochako, tells Tenya Ida, tells Bakugo, tells Todoroki, and so on and so forth. Every single person there to go and line up in a different area. They all head out and they go to a different ground in a different area where it's a cityscape to a certain extent, and they all stand out there. They ask, what's going on? Like, what are they even doing? And All Might tells them to stand there and wait, because it's going to be them versus Izuku Midoriya. That's it. All of them versus one person. And All Might would then tell Izuku that he's not actually allowed to hit anybody. In which Izuku's like, what are you talking about? I'm not allowed to hit anybody. That makes no sense. Because, well, All Might would then say he would take 4 of the people there. Mina, he would take Hagakure, he would take 2 other people as well. Just some additional people for here and there. Maybe Momo, maybe another person like maybe like Sugar Rush or something like that. Anybody who's there right now. 4 of them, just 4 of them. So you have the whole class excluding 4, and those 4 are spread out throughout the entirety of the city. And he tells Izuku that his job is to get them, save them, and not lay a single finger on the rest of the class. In which Izuku thinks this is ridiculous. This is horrible. This is dumb. That he could basically knock them all out and have everybody saved. But Izuku is then told by All Might that yes, that is the truth. Yes, you could just knock them all out. You could hurt them all and then be done with it. But a real hero looks to save first and then defeat second. And if he can do that, and if he can truly sacrifice himself and save others, then that he'll have full confidence that he'll be a hero. Because frankly, right now, Izuku's acting like he's going to war. Izuku's acting as if he's a warrior that stands on the front lines and gets ready to kill with no nonsense. But All Might tells him that they're training to be heroes. There's a difference, a very big difference. And Izuku looks at him and is frustrated, but shakes his head and tells him that he'll get it done, just like how he makes everything else look so easy. Izuku would stand in front of basically his whole class, excluding 4 people, and he would get ready to dash in and actually save these 4 without even touching or hitting the other people. But with that said, that is where we're going to end off this part. This is where we're going to end off this part of What If Deku Was Jiren's Reincarnation. And if you enjoyed, show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry that's coming out a little bit later than normal. That's my bad. Some things came up, so I had to push it off a little bit. But I'm still here, still going to get posted, of course. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.